Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm trying a new cigar. This is the Drew Estate Java Red. If you're not familiar, Drew Estate is owned by Rocky Patel, so essentially it's a Rocky Patel cigar. But the original Java Maduro is probably one of my favorite infused cigars I've ever had. I like a lot of the flavored CAO line. Eileen's Dream is probably one of my favorite of those. But when you're talking about infused cigars or flavored cigars, the Java series as a whole has just been awesome. But this is one that I have not tried yet. It's not incredibly new, but it's still new to me. So the red line is supposed to have a cherry influence in there. So generally speaking, it should be a chocolate cherry coffee type thing. We'll see. I can tell you, just taking it out of the wrapper, just took it out before I turned the camera on, it is just screaming with scent. Okay, the second you take it out, you could just smell that chocolate. Extremely pungent, very sweet smelling. I don't smell specifically like cherry, I just smell a lot of sweet chocolate. Alright, I'm back. I just took a few moments there just to smell it. It really does smell that good. It smells like something you'd want to eat for dessert as opposed to smoke. But yeah, we're going to get right into this and see what's going on with this. Now this is a infused cigar. You can see there's a foot band that says red. Alright, I'm sure you saw that before, but just to show it's a red line. And I'll keep the regular band on for now. You can see this is a box press, okay, so it's square as opposed to round, which most cigars are. I actually kind of like a box press, specifically with the smaller ones too. It just holds in the mouth pretty easy. Now, with the original Java line, just the regular Maduros, my favorite infused cigar. So infused cigars are flavored cigars, so there's artificial flavors that are put onto the tobacco leaf. It's still a natural cigar, it just has those flavorings. There's no like extra chemicals or anything weird there. Alright, so I know some people will stay away from flavored cigars thinking that they're more like cigarettes or something, and they are not. It's literally just natural aged tobacco and flavoring. And with a lot of infused cigars, they'll put some kind of a sweetener on the tip here, which the second I make my cut and do like a cold draw, we're going to find that out. But I just want to mention one thing before I get into this, is that there's a high society of cigar purists out there, very pinky up type people, that will laugh at you if you smoked flavored cigars. They think that they're not real cigars. These same people drink really cheap whiskey, you know, blended whiskey, and they drink soda with their cigar, or even flavored coffee. Maybe they're enjoying a nice, you know, peach cobbler coffee full of artificial flavors. So honestly, smoke whatever you enjoy, okay? I'm not above smoking cigars like this because sometimes I'm in the mood for a nice sweet cigar, sweeter than maybe a natural tobacco can offer. So this is very much a high-end flavored cigar. Anyway, just throwing it out there. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but I don't think you should buy into the you have to spend a lot of money on cigars to be able to enjoy them, okay? If you're enjoying a cigar for whatever reason, that's the point of it. Smoke what you want. But when it comes to flavored cigars, these are companies adding something to the tobacco that you don't get naturally, okay? So if you tend to like much sweeter things, or maybe you're just smoking it after a nice meal for dessert, this might be something you're looking for. So anyway, I'm going to do a punch cut on this. I haven't used my punch cutter in a while. I like my Perfecto cutter, but I just sharpened this in a previous video, so I thought it was a good time to use it. Plus, this is a smaller cigar as well, so I thought it was just fitting, you know, for this particular video. So, today I am using matches. Holy smokes, did I just do that? Wow, I can't believe I did that. Anyway, I am using matches here, okay, which is something else purists talk about. If you don't light a cigar with a match, you're ruining it. Not necessarily the case. I light a lot of cigars with soft flame Bics. I light it with torch flame lighters. Doesn't really matter. I've lit expensive cigars with Zippos. The first couple puffs kind of tasted like fluid, and then it went away. So, again, to each their own. But for this video, I'll use matches. So here we go. Alright, so there's definitely a sweetener that's added to the tip of the cigar here. So I can physically feel the sweetness on my lips. What's interesting though is the first couple puffs here, I'm not getting any cherry. The smoke, like the room note that's coming off the cigar, is just wonderful. But again, there's no specific cherry going on here. It is sweet, but not necessarily the smoke. And it's pretty much chocolate. It's kind of a little bit more of like a bitter dark chocolate. It's tasty. It's also peppery. There's kind of a strong peppery, like black pepper. When I talk about pepper, just that feeling, not the flavor so much, but the spice in my lips and my tongue and my mouth. So yeah, I'm gonna sit back, relax, enjoy the weather, and just enjoy this cigar. I'll get back to you when something happens. I'm actually gonna take note of the time real quick here. All right, it is 6:37 p.m. So we'll see how long this actually smokes. It is a smaller cigar, so I don't expect it to be, 2-hour smoke or anything, but you never know. All right, I want to give you guys a quick update. The burn is absolutely perfect. It's been only about 10 minutes or so, so looking at the ash, I mean, I don't think this is going to be more than an hour. But there is a flavor change. I'm actually going to ash this because I don't want it falling on me. I don't have my table over here, so it's off to the side. But anyway, the flavor is really good. It's definitely not as expected. First off, the flavored tip wore off, like within a couple puffs. It's not something I'm used to. Usually whatever infusion they do, whatever sugar solution they put on there is usually lasting for a while. But this one, it's gone. Not only that, but the actual tobacco isn't that sweet at all. It's mostly just a bitter chocolate flavor. And only the last couple puffs am I really starting to taste anything remotely close to cherry. But it is kind of like an artificial cherry. It's just really, really subtle. It's kind of hard to pick that flavor out. Which is kind of interesting, being that this is sold as a cherry flavored cigar. But I am really enjoying it. It is mostly just like a bitter dark chocolate. If you happen to like really dark chocolate bars, like 75, 80%, 85%, that's kind of the flavor I'm getting with the tobacco. Just like all the other cigar reviews I do, I try to mention often for people who aren't used to smoking cigars, when you're talking about flavors like, oh, this tastes like chocolate, it's mostly tobacco. Okay, it's just these are the flavors that are coming in along with the tobacco. So pretty much every cigar I've ever had has been at least 50% tobacco flavor. So it's a nice dark, rich tobacco flavor. But on top of it, all these like tasting notes and things people talk about when you're watching reviews, it's tobacco plus that. So just keep that in mind if you've never smoked cigars before. But yeah, it's predominantly that dark chocolate. There is a bitterness to it. The peppery kind of sensation or whatever, that's gone as well. So it's pretty smooth, but mostly just bitter dark chocolate. And just a really small hint of artificial cherry. I smell it in the air a lot more than I'm tasting it. But anyway, just a quick update there. I'll get back with you if something changes. Alright, so time to take the band off here. Also, actually, let me do a time check real quick. 7:16. I actually forgot what time we started, but I think it's only been roughly half an hour, something like that. I got the band off. I like keeping those. Alright, so it's smoking perfectly. It's burning perfectly, as I'd expect from all Drew Estates. Like I said before, I never had an issue with them. The flavor is pretty much the same. It's just mostly bitter, dark chocolate. The cherry is ramped up a little bit. It is an artificial cherry flavor, which I'm not enjoying that much. Like the CAO, excuse me, the cherry bombs, they're really like more cherry flavored than something like this. By the way, no coffee at all. Just that dark chocolate flavor. A lot of people said there's cherry and chocolate and coffee. There's no coffee for me whatsoever. But what's really surprising, it's just nowhere near as sweet as I thought it would be. It's really not sweet at all. So it's pretty interesting. I'm actually probably going to be done with it in about 5 minutes or so. It's starting to actually get hot already. Maybe I'm smoking it fast. Alright guys, it's only been a few minutes since my last update, but it is kind of getting hot, so I'm going to take one more puff on it, call it a day. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, overall it was probably like a 40 to 45 minute smoke for me, the regular Corona. But yeah, the flavors didn't change. It was really just, you know, bitter dark chocolate. There's like a little bit of sweetness there, but I wouldn't call it sweet, which is actually really surprising. I thought this would be a cherry bomb. I thought it'd be super, super sweet. And it's just not what I got out of it. I got, you know, bitter dark chocolate most of the time with just that little bit of artificial cherry. But yeah, I mean, it was smooth. It burned totally fine. I wouldn't say I was disappointed. It just wasn't what I expected. I much, much prefer the original Robusto size Drew Estate Java in Maduro. That was my favorite of the whole line. But I did get another Corona in mint. So that one should be really interesting. But again, mint is not a natural flavor that comes out of tobacco. So obviously that would be an infused flavor, but I love the idea of chocolate mint. I've always liked those flavor combinations before, so might enjoy it in a cigar as well. I will mention one thing, that there's some strength there. This is definitely medium bodied. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's full bodied, but I feel it. It was a small, short smoke, but I certainly feel the nicotine. So it is kind of a medium body, which is also a little bit abnormal from the infused cigars I've had before. They've never been really strong cigars, just kind of light, sweet, desserty. But yeah, I mean, went into this with some expectations that it was going to be a lot of cherry. Didn't happen. It was barely there. And I thought it'd be overly sweet, and really it wasn't very sweet at all, for me anyway. When I go into cigar reviews, just like knife reviews, I try very hard not to hear anyone else's opinions. I want to form my own. But I did post some pictures of these cigars that I got on Instagram, and had a couple people tell me about the red and their experience. One person said either them or their friends thought it tasted like cough syrup. I definitely didn't get that. It wasn't cherry enough to taste like cherry cough syrup. And I've heard some other things too, but I've had a totally different experience here. Some people said it was sickeningly sweet, cloyingly sweet. Did not experience that whatsoever. Pretty interesting. So post your comments down below if you've had the Drew Estates Java Red, what you thought of yours, but in this Corona size. And these are fresh, perfectly humidified. Yeah, that was my experience. Something I probably wouldn't buy again. I do like the original much more than this one. But I will try that mint. But let me know if it's something you really want to see. I'll review it in the future. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. Take care.